triple 474, bowling at Park Place in Wyndham. Also, the Traveling League out of St. Joe's in Haverhill. Been bowling for better than 30 years.
And as I said, the winner gets a berth in the Tournament of Champions at the end of the season. We'll tell you more about that a little later on. Let's get right to it. It's Chris Sargent and Dave Richards for the championship. We're coming right back to Leda Lanes right after this.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you by the Thompson family of dealerships in Nashua, New Hampshire.
All right, we're down to the final two in this ladder series, as it began a few weeks ago with Sam D'Agostino beating Brian Feast. Then Chris Sargent down Sam D'Agostino and Bruno DeFeo to earn the berth in the championship match against top seed Dave Richards. It'll be Chris Sargent bowling first at Leda Lanes before another great crowd to watch this, what we anticipate will be a terrific match. And Sargent starts out with a pocket shot that leaves 9.
Two bowlers in the 130-plus average range.
That's beyond my comprehension.
I know. On paper, it looks like a great match. They had a good start. Chris Sargent with a spare.
Well, he picked up the spare in a somewhat unorthodox fashion, but I'm sure he'll take it just the same. He will put 8 in the spare. And of course, there's a double motive for the winner this afternoon. They want to win, and they want to win with a high score because the scoring determines the seeding in the Tournament of Champions. And Chris Sargent starts out with back-to-back marks.
You're right, Dick. The top seed is Gary Carrington at 414. Both these guys average close to 414, so it would take a little better than average day for either of them to find themselves in the top spot so far.
Now Cookie Richards with a strike to start. I guess you can tell both these bowlers know how to play the game.
Seven pin, the last to go. Got those zebra bowling ball stripes going on here.
Little thin in the hit, but not a bad fall. He'll put 9 in the... Well, he's got a strike to work on, so...
That's it.
He's got another ball to go.
It's been a while since we've seen Dave Richards. Last year, as a matter of fact, in the mixed doubles.
Missed the spare.
See who his partner was. He bowled with Joanne Rosano. Now, they were the team that on paper looked like they would win that ladder series. They were knocked out in the first round. And a 10 box for Dave Richards, giving him a 1-pin advantage over Chris Sargent after 2 completed frames.
Big fill for Sargent in his spare. And a chance for another mark. Here's a $50 shot for Chris Sargent right off the bat. Bonus money. $50 in bonus money for Chris Sargent. 3 boxes, 3 marks. He'll put 7. He talks to the pins after he shoots the ball. He stands at the line and tries to convince him to fall down.
And it usually works.
Will he get it on the rebound? No.
Cut the object pin thin, went over to the wall and came crashing back and landed right in front of, and then scooted away from the 9-pin.
Which tells you how thinly he cut it because it came back in front.
Right.
9, and the first open frame for Chris Sargent. Now Dave Richards. Dave on TV 30 times on Stars and Strikes, more than 30 times. He was on the old Channel 5 show some 15 times, and he was their last champion back in 1995.
I do remember that show. As a matter of fact,
no stranger to the TV lights.
Last ball thrown on that show that went almost 40 years was a 5-pin and then a spare by Dave Richards, and that was it. Lights out.
cut the pin a little too thin and doesn't make the spare. Dave's the traffic manager at MVP Sports in Wilmington, and he and Beth have been married to 11 years, and she's a pretty fair bowler herself.
Of course, in the audience today, and she was also a couple of weeks ago at Pilgrim Lanes with Dave and the other pro bowlers for the Rock and Bull fundraiser on February 25th.
That one got away from him, caught the second pocket, leaves the 4 horsemen on the right side. Dave trying to direct that wood to come back a little closer to the pack. The wood is in front of the 8-pin. Got a shot at it. There it is. And you see the body English from Dave Richards after making the spare. The excitement. His second mark. Watch it again. The wood certainly helped him out in front of the 8-pin. Here's Chris Sargent. Right on the head pin. Watch out. He's not done yet. Will it go? Will it go? It still wobbles, and Chris stares at it.
Wood behind the 5 and the 8 is frozen, which always makes things a little more makeable.
Like that. 4 marks and 5 frames for Chris Sargent.
Chris Sargent working on 4 marks and 5 frames.
Chris and his wife Jean have a lovely family. A son Patrick is 9, a daughter Allison is 5, and a son Christopher Jr. 2 years old. And Chris tells us his hobbies include hunting, playing golf and racquetball, and other outdoor activities, and making marks. That's one of his hobbies here this afternoon. 5 marks and 6 frames for Chris Sargent. Watch it again. He's making shots, isn't he?
That was a surgically precise shot. And he's got 5 marks and 6 frames. Dave Richards not far behind, working on a spare in the 4th.
Cookie's right there on the head pin. Will it catch it from behind? It wobbles, and Dave Richards goes to his knees to try to get it to go.
Begging doesn't always work. Sometimes it does.
8-pin stands. And another mark for Dave Richards.
Nice smooth style of Dave Richards. The ball smooth as silk going down. Nice follow through, good extension. And no surprise he's averaging in the mid-130s. It's about as high as anybody's going to average. You're not going to find anybody bowling much higher than that.
That time he didn't get it on the head pin. He'll put 6 in the spare.
The 1, 2, 6, and 10.
No wood to help out. Right through the hole.
Well, he was trying to take a deflection off the right side of the 1 pin, but he didn't get it.
And that's going to be a 7 box for Dave. 81 through 6. Chris Sargent is already at 90 through 6 with a ball. So he leads by 9 plus whatever he gets on this ball. And it'll be 8. Tough shot here. That's the 5 and the 7. A piece of wood is problematic. Might help him. Ooh, look at that. He did everything but make that shot, didn't he? He surrounded that 5-pin. It went in front, then it went behind it. That'll be a 10 box. High single of 213 for Chris Sargent. High triple of 530, which was the first 3 in a 5-string series. Rolled a 669 in the Leda Lanes roll-off to earn the number 3 seed. And if you think a 213 is a fluke, he's also rolled a 207, a 210, and a 211.
Yeah, we're not talking, you know, 200 and 201. We're talking much higher than that.
That'll be a 9 box for Chris Sargent. He's at 117 through 8 as he's open in the 7th and 8th frames. Dave Richards with a chance to get closer.
He's also vice president of the WCBC, has one WCBC tour title, and he was 24th in ranking last year on the WCBC ratings.
Well, Cookie was off the head pin that time, but he's got a makeable shot here, especially with that piece of wood in the back. This is the 1, the 3, and the 8. The wood in front of the 8 makes it an eminently makeable spare. The key is the head pin, the 1 pin. Missed it. That'll be a 10 box. Got a nice note from Evelyn Parent from North Grafton, Massachusetts, who's a loyal viewer of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Been watching a long time, since we started hosting, and she feels that we're friends, Michael, is what she says, and we are friends.
We thank you for that, Evelyn.
She's been watching it since day one.
We'll be over for Sunday dinner right after the show here.
Says you can't talk to her during the time the show is on. You can't interrupt
Is that right?
it.
That's how I feel when I'm watching The Sopranos. Leave me alone.
At one time, she belonged to 3 bowling leagues. Had fun, but also it was serious business. And she met a lot of great people along the way, Stacia and Jeanette. An accident cut her bowling day short, but she still is an avid viewer. And she makes the shots in her mind as she watches the matches unfold in front of her.
Armchair bowlers, that's the fun part about this game. You and I can sit here and speculate, and the folks at home can make their own guesses.
So thanks to Evelyn Parent from North Grafton, Massachusetts, for writing in. Terrific to hear from you, and we would love to hear from everybody else. And the way to get in touch with us is to write Candlepin Stars and Strikes, WNDS TV, 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire, 03038, or you can email us at WNDS_TV at yahoo.com.
Well, this will be 4 non-marked frames in a row for Chris Sargent, giving Dave Richards a pretty good opportunity to win this match.
At least the string.
Right, string.
136. That's with last four frames open, a 136. Now Dave Richards is working on a mark. And will it go? Look at that.
Looks like the 2 pins on the deck kind of kept the pin standing when it wanted to fall.
8 in the spare and another spare. Chance for bonus money closing out the first string. We've already given away $50 to Chris Sargent in this first string.
So you asked Chris Sargent last week as we closed out the show if his normal routine is lots of strikes and not too many spares. Well, 5 spares, no strikes for Chris Sargent this game.
Richards on the head pin, puts 8 in the spare. Tough shot here, though. Sizing it up as he stands at the line, looking down at the dead wood. What to do with the wood is the question.
Needs a
10. Got to play the wood.
Needs a 10 to win this game. Of course, a mark would be even better.
Going after the wood. Look at the shot by Dave Richards. And look at the reaction.
Beautifully thrown.
What a great shot. Watch it one more time. Playing the wood.
Oh.
Perfectly done. And Dave's reaction after the shot. You think he liked it? Great shot making by Cookie Richards now to fill the spare with a strike. What a way to finish. A 147 first string and $75 in bonus money for Dave Richards to close out the first string, and he will take an 11-pin lead to the second string of this match. 2 great bowlers going at it head to head, and we're coming back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire when we continue with Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Dave Richards will be first to bowl in the second string after a great finish to the first string 4 marks in a row, 3 spares, and the grand finale, the strike to fill the 10th frame spare, and a 147 first string to beat Chris Sargent's 136. And now we start string number 2 from Leda Lanes in Nashua. Dick Lutz with Mike Moran. Our WNDS TV crew, directed by Ken Knight. Larry Taylor's on audio. Dave McCarthy working the tape machine. Elise Hudon is on computer graphics. Paul Hunter handling video. And the camera crew of Kevin LaFond, Brad Mate, and the legendary Bob Dole. All here at Leda Lanes.
What is he known for?
Winning the pool every week.
Oh. It's funny, you'd think a guy like that with all that money would dress a little better.
Now Spread Eagle plus 2 sleepers. On the left side, you've got the 2, 4, 7, and 8. On the right side, you've got the 3,
Whoa.
6, 9, and 10.
I've never seen that spare made. I've seen the Spread Eagle made a few times. Have never seen
that one.
the
I think
Spread
I have.
Eagle plus the 2 sleepers. Have never seen it made. I'm sure it has been.
That's going to be an 8 box. You could hear the groan from Dave Richards from all the way back here.
I want to make
And he
a
starts out with 2 opens.
quick mention here for our friend Tim Lipke. He and his wife run and own Lakeside Lanes. Want us to let everybody know they have a knockout doubles tournament that normally runs at the end of March. Has been moved this year to the first weekend in June. Tournament flyers will be mailed to bowling centers throughout New England sometime in April. Bowlers who normally receive entries directly in the mail to their homes will still receive them, as they always have. And this is the largest doubles tournament around, with $2,000 first place. Over 150 teams entered last year. So Tim Lipke, Lakeside Lanes, thank you for that announcement. Tim and Wendy will be in touch as far as the doubles tournament this year in June.
10 box for Chris Sargent. Starting in the 2nd string.
And you know, we're getting close to the annual Easter Sundays single scratch tournament here at Leda Lanes, with the first prize of $5,000 guaranteed.
That's a 20 stringer, isn't it?
It is, as a matter of fact. It really is a long event. 20-string tournament running this year, April 15th. We'll tell you more about it as we get closer to that. Still about a month away.
Tough shot for Chris Sargent. He knew that with the wood angled the way it was. He knew it was going to be a tough one. It'll be a 9 box for Chris Sargent. Picks up 1 pin.
These two men have bowled many, many matches together over the years. Teams, singles, tournaments. Chris from Haverhill, Dave from Plastow, both bowling out of St. Joe's and Haverhill. And they'll be world team members for the tournament next fall. Boy, they've got a great team. Dave was telling me who some of the members of his team were. Bill Treeful, Mark
Great
Gregory.
shot by Dave Richards for the spare. Watch it one more time. He played it perfectly and got help from the wood, and a lot of action off the side wall. That sounds like a pretty decent team.
Oh, and there's a couple others that I don't recall right off the top of my head, but you're right, they're loaded.
Dave threw it past the head pin, but he got a pretty good fall. Puts 7 in the spare in one of those impossible back row shots.
Yeah, this is not a pretty shot.
7, 8, and 10. The wood is outside the 10. He's going to have to try and play the wood and just see what happens.
Maybe we can help him by calling this virtually impossible.
I would say it's virtually impossible. He played the wood like that and hoped for something to kick. That's what he was hoping for. Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV is presented by the Thompson family of dealerships, McMulkin Chevrolet, Nashua Hyundai, Nashua Mitsubishi, and Nashua Daewoo, all located in the New England Automotive Village on the Daniel Webster Highway in Nashua. Our thanks to Ray Simino and Sean Howard and the staff at Leda Lanes in Nashua. They do a great job hosting the terrific crowd that you see behind us. They put the coffee and donuts out early in the morning. Our friends come early and they stay late, and they have a wonderful day as we tape 4 shows typically on the 1st or 2nd Tuesday of the month,
depending on the snow.
And that's going to be a $9 for Chris Sargent.
Now, by the time you watch this show, we've already taped the next series. So we're not taping again until Tuesday, April 10th.
Well, it's a makeable shot for Chris right here, the way the wood is set up.
Yeah, the wood is
the wood in
very
the back one is surrounding the 8-pin. It's angled pretty well for him. Got to hit the head pin, and it goes. So we go to the break with Chris Sargent working on a mark. Dave Richards has the lead. We're at the halfway point of this championship match, and we're coming back to Leda Lanes in Nashua for Candlepin Stars and Stripes on WNDS TV. Dave Richards ready to go. We've talked about this before, Michael, but just in case people are watching us for the first time, you see the bowlers wipe off their bowling balls from time to time. They'll take a rag and they can pick up some of the oils that are on the lanes, and they need to be taken care of occasionally by the bowlers, and you see them do it from time to time.
That's exactly right.
The lanes are treated with an oil.
Yeah, not much of one, though. Candlepin, there's not as much wear and tear on a candlepin bowling surface as there is on 10-pin by virtue of the weight of the ball, and the 10-pin is about, well, 16 pounds versus 2 pounds 7 ounces here.
10-pin lanes are treated quite frequently, are they
They're
not?
treated very often, more than once a day. And they have actually automatic machines that run up and down the lanes, which I know Candlepin proprietors use as well, but not as frequently.
Dave puts 5 in the spare.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of grease or oil on your Candlepin ball, but some bowlers feel better wiping it off.
And not only that, they perspire while they're
Yep.
bowling as well. Nice spare for Dave. That's 2 marks in a row. That's a nice one. So you'll see some bowlers wiping their bowling balls off more often than other bowlers, and for some it's probably just a nervous habit at times too, I imagine.
I know we've mentioned that before, and some bowlers took issue with us on that, but I think it's just a routine with some people. You get used to doing it, and you just do it every time. It becomes a rote function.
Chris Sargent puts 8 in his mark and has another opportunity for a spare. And he converts it. 2 marks in a row for Chris Sargent, so the bowlers are warming up here in the second string. And we're trying to give some more bonus money away. Chris Sargent already has $50 in the bank this match and looking for more right here. Right on the head pin and right through again for the umpteenth time over the past couple of weeks. Right through the middle. Spread eagle +1. You've got a sleeper on the left side, and behind the 2-pin, it's the 8-pin. Look at this, look at this.
Wow.
Almost made it. Almost came through the back door.
Which is the only way to make that one.
$10.
Well, he's had enough practice at it, Dick. He's bound to get it sooner or later.
Now Cookie Richards looking for bonus money.
And the nickname came from Cookie Gilchrist, I think, right? As I recall.
Not going to make the spare.
See a look on his face, looked like he bit into a lemon there. I said, ooh, what's this? Punching out the 3-pin.
And an 8-box.
Very
83 through 7.
A couple of very animated bowlers. Have we seen a strike yet today? We have not. All spares.
Yes, we have 1 strike. Dave
Oh,
Richards'
sorry.
very first box that Dave Richards threw.
That's right. Everything else been spares. In contrast to the last 2 or 3 weeks.
He just picked 1 pin, quarter Worcester. Now he's going right on the head pin. A couple of tough shots for Dave Richards. He deserves better. That's a great 10 box for Dave Richards. Terrific 10 box.
2 of the game's best are going at it today as we build it early on. Clash of the Titans, averages of 132 for Sargent. Dave Richards 134.
Dave Richards has opened up a 35-pin lead, but that's not box to box. We've got a couple of boxes for Sargent to catch up.
Well, that'll narrow the gap by 10 plus whatever he drops on the next throw. Both bowlers with 3 spares in this match, this string. The 4 and the 10 with the piece of wood in front of the 10 pin. Not going to help it. A rather precarious 7-pin lead over the match through, well, so far 18 frames. Dave Richards holding on to less than a mark lead as we round out game number 2 in a 3-game set. Another split. 2, 4, 6, and 10. Hit it almost a little too thinly. He sent the messenger pin over, but the 4 pin still remained, surrounded by 2 pieces on the deck. So it's 103 through 9 for Dave Richards, who opened up with a rather powerful 147 first game. It's Chris Sargent's 136. Well, that one certainly could have been a rather high Brooklyn hit, and the 6-pin still stands. A routine single-pin conversion for Dave Richards.
And a mark to close out the string. Let's see what he can do to fill it. It will be an 8 and a 121 second string for Dave Richards. Chris Sargent right through the middle again. Couldn't get that 4-pin to fall backwards into the 2. It moved a couple inches closer to it, but didn't fall down. Almost a spread eagle again. The 3 on the right go.
Well, this one would be very difficult to chop. The 4-pin edging up toward the 2-pin.
Well,
missed them both.
All academic that way. 105 through 9 for Chris Sargent. Needs a mark to make it close going to the 3rd string. Threw that one past the head pin. We'll have a tough shot to make here. The 1, the 2, the 7, and the 10. The piece of wood between the 2 and the 7. Nice shot. Great shot by Chris Sargent. Very important shot by Chris Sargent.
Because that'll bring this match to less than 10 pins going into the 3rd game.
With a good fill.
With a good fill, which I am confident. Although he's had a lot of punch outs the last couple of weeks.
It will be less than 10 pins. It's an 8-pin fill. And a 123 for Chris Sargent in the 2nd string, and a 9-pin lead for Dave Richards going into the 3rd and deciding string of this championship match. The winner moves on to the Tournament of Champions. Who will it be? You'll have to stick around to find out when we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire for Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Third string coming up, and it should be a humdinger. A 9-pin lead in the match for Dave Cookie Richards over Chris Sargent. Richards the number 1 seed, Sargent the number 3 seed. Sargent bowls first. Can he break up the split? No. .268 for Richards, .259 Look at that spare for Chris Sargent. He played the wood on the right side and played it perfectly. Watch it again. Watch how you play the wood perfectly. That's what Candlepin bowling is all about. Playing the angles, playing the wood. Right through the middle, a spread eagle. That's what Candlepin bowling is all about, too. Those types of shots that just make you want to run for cover.
Or worse.
After you make a great shot like that for the spare, you're throwing right on the head pin, and you end up with a spread eagle and an 8-box. Cookie Richards with a 134 average, a high single of 200, a high triple of 474. Look at that shot right on the head pin, and he got 2.
1 in the 8. Where did the ball go?
Virtually impossible. You can't figure it out. Where did the ball go?
There's a lot of space between the pins down there, but boy, you got to hit something going through.
You would think so.
There's about a foot in between each pin in every direction. Doesn't look like it on TV, of course, but take a walk down sometime. Your local proprietor lets you do that. The spins are very far apart.
And that will be an 8-box for Cookie to start out. Right in the pocket. Waiting for that wood to settle down and sizing it up. Going right at it and making the spare. Just barely, but making it. Spare for Dave Richards in the second frame.
$1,000 to our winner today and a seed in the Tournament of Champions. Runner-up, $500 and a nice try. Come back and give it another shot.
9-pin drop for Sargent on the first ball. Spare opportunity, the 7-pin. Clear shot right at it. Right on the money. Good pin picking by Chris Sargent. His second mark in 3 boxes as he tries to climb back into it. Not that he's that far out of it. Well, he threw it right in the pocket, and he left the 5, the 7, and the 10. I look back in disbelief, and you see the grin on his face. What do I have to do, he's saying, to somebody, to anybody.
Anybody who will
to nobody. Plays the wood. And an 8-box as he went right at it. 47 through 4 for Chris Sargent. Richards working on a spare. If he doesn't spare in either of the next 2 boxes, we're going to have a very tight match with 6 boxes to go. Tough shot coming here for Dave Richards. He puts 5 in the mark. On the left, you've got the 2, 4, 5, and 7. The 2 is gone. Everything else is still standing, along with the 10-pin in the right corner. So this is not going to be a big box for Dave Richards. This will be an 8-box.
And you're right, a nearly even match.
If Dave Richards does not mark in this frame, we will be virtually even. Off the head pin. 4 horsemen left side. 1, 2, 4, and 7.
No wood in the way, no wood to help.
Just the 1 pin. Straight on the nose. We're going to have a very tight match. On 9 box, a 2-pin lead in the match for Dave Richards with 6 boxes remaining. We're going to the break. We're coming back. We've got a thriller. A fingernail biter taking place in front of you as you watch Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire on WNDS-TV. As you look at the score of the match, you will notice on the right of your screen on the top first string for Dave Richards, it says 147. The correct total is 148. We'll make the adjustment at the end of the match. The bowlers are aware of the error in the computer scoring, and we will adjust that as we get to it, but we're ready to go. And now we're ready to go with Chris Sargent bowling at, as we have 6 frames to go in a very close match. So Chris Sargent steps to lane 34, and we're ready to continue.
So the Dave Richards lead is in reality 3 pins.
3 pins.
At this point. So just add 1 here to the total. And we apologize for any confusion. We have a system of checks and balances. Somebody called it to our attention here during the break, and we double-checked with some people. We have 2 other people keeping score, and turns out 148 is correct.
Chris just missed the spare. He'll take a 10 box. Trying to break up the split. Lots of wood on the deck. And an opportunity for Chris Sargent here. With all the wood that's there, I think he has a shot to make this.
Very good shot with his explosive ball. 4, 7, and 9.
Nope. And 9 still there. And that'll be a 10 box.
Chris Sargent tried to clear a ball out of the left channel on lane 33, threw one of his own balls down, and it ricocheted off into lane 32. It took down some pins. That's what the crowd is buzzing about.
So we'll add those 5 to his total.
We'll add those 5 and have another meeting here. Paul Willett goes down and shags the errant Chris Sargent bowling ball as Dave Richards steps to lane 34. Dave Richards up against a couple of 10 boxes from Chris Sargent in the 5th and 6th frames.
Trying to get it to come back door. Will not get it to happen. It's 1, 2, and 4 still standing for Dave Richards. There they go. Big spare for Dave Richards as he tries to distance himself a little bit from Chris Sargent here.
He had a 3-pin lead with 6 frames to go. He'll now add 10 plus the fill on this ball to that 3-pin lead.
Right on the head pin. Will the 7-pin fall? It rocks. It continues to rock. But it will not fall. Dave Richards stands at the line and stares in disbelief.
It looks like a broken man. Hands in his pocket.
Well, the wood on the left has an angle to it. He might try that route. No, he's going to the right. And he made the shot. Look at that shot.
Whoa.
Whoa. Where'd that come from? What a shot by Dave Richards. Watch this again. I don't even know how he made it. That pin just rifled off the sidewall and came across.
It was
Did the ball take out the 10? Wow. And look at Chris Sargent responding with a head pin shot that takes 2.
Demoralizing.
The 1 and the 9. Look at this.
It was almost a shot in disgust. And he got all but 1.
10 box for Chris. 3 10s in a row. 10s aren't going to do it for him, though. He's going to need some marks now that Cookie's put a couple of marks together. Again, unbelievable. Same shot.
Same.
The 1 and the 9. 2 boxes in a row. Wow. You don't see that twice in a month. That has to be frustrating, disappointing, all those words. Heartbreaking might be the best word. That's a good 8.
Yeah. Not much
85.
consolation, though.
Nope, he's going to need to mark the rest of the way in the last couple of boxes to have any kind of a chance. Depending on what Dave Richards does, Dave could close the door on him right here with a couple of marks. That would make your scoring blunder academic.
Yes, it would.
Dave puts 8 in the mark.
And he'll shoot a little bit to the left of the stripe on the wood.
And make the spare. 3 marks in a row, $50 in bonus money. He has $125 in bonus money in the match.
Well, the lowest seed position, by the way, is 392, held by Sean McKinley. The highest is 414. So going to need some good bowling out of Dave Richards, should he go on to win, to get good seeding.
Dave moaned and groaned when he let that one go. Puts just 5 in the spare.
4, actually.
4? 4, that's correct.
Got a sleeper there, the 9-pin in the back.
Piece of wood is good. And the spare is good. 4 in a row. Another $25 in bonus money. $150 in bonus money. Watch it again. He played it perfectly with the wood. The ball bounced off the pin, actually, and took the 4 and the 7. The lead is back up to 24 plus a ball. And Chris Sargent on the head pin, but not much to show for it. The 4 and 7 on the left, the 6 and 10 on the right. Some wood around the 4 and the 7. Look at this shot. Will it go? The 10 pin defies. And that'll be a 10 box. And that will effectively end Chris Sargent's chances, I believe. Will he close with a strike? He will not. And a mark in the 10th frame. 105 plus a ball.
So it
Chris
appears
Sargent had a great run at it, but Dave Richards from the #1 seed, how important that top seeding is. We've seen that before.
Well, last year's Tournament of Champions ladder, I think 5 of the 6 bowlers were #1 seeds.
Chris puts 9 in the spare. And a 114 third string and a 3-string total of 373. Dave Richards is already at 368 plus a ball. Now Dave Richards is bowling for seeding right here.
And remember, you're adding 1 pin to his total score here.
Right.
Due to a first game scoring error by 1 pin.
The split is broken up nicely. Looking for some more bonus money. Another $25 shot for Dave Richards. Right on the pin. Give him another 25 bucks. $175 in bonus money for Dave Richards. He's at 387 plus a ball, 388 plus a ball.
And he's about to pass Mike Morgan and Sean McKinley in the Tournament of Champions.
Right on the head pin. Puts 7 in the spare. And a chance for another $25 in bonus money. Got a shot at it, missed the head pin. The string ends there. It'll be a 9 and a 135 and a 3-string total of 404, which places him number 2 in second place by 1 pin over Gary Santora, behind Gary Carrington. We will come back to meet our bowlers, Chris Sargent and the winner, Dave Richards, when we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, right after this on WNDS TV's Candlepin Stars and Strikes. In the interest of time, we're going to go right to the bonus ball contest, and Dave Richards will roll a ball. We'll try to match him up with a winner at home. And Dave was off the headpin, and he will put a 5 on the board, and Mike Morin will reach into the bin. And we'll see if we can match it up with a winner. It's $20 in the jackpot, and it is Carl Schiavone of Lawrence, Massachusetts. And Carl picked a number 8, and it's not a match. A consolation prize from N&R Trophies in Winchendon, Massachusetts to Carl Schiavone. We already had given our $500 consolation prize to Chris Sargent, and now we have the winner's check for $1,000 to present to Dave Richards. We have $175 in bonus money, another $50 for having the high string in the match. And I know you wanted to also say hello to somebody.
Yes, I just want to thank my grandmother, who's 90 years old, for coming up here all the way from Saugus, Mass. to watch me match. I dedicate the show to you, Nana.
Well, that's great, Dave. Thanks very much. Congratulations to you, and we'll see you in the Tournament of Champions.
Way to go,
Dave Richards, here our winner and another participant in the Tournament of Champions.
That's right. Remember, he has 404, not 403 is what our scoring sheet showed. He is second behind Gary Carrington, third Gary Santora, Mike Morgan is fourth, and Sean McKinley is fifth. With one more bowler to go, we'll know in about a month who the sixth one will be.
Another ladder series begins next week. Hope you can join us for that. Until then, for Mike Morin and our entire WNDS TV crew from Leda Lanes in Nashua, I'm Dick Lutz. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And don't forget, let's go bowling, everybody.